All right, now I'm pretty excited about this course because not only is this something that's really fun for me doing this, the actual site flipping, but showing other people how to do it is really cool because this is something that really is easy. It's not a scam type of thing. There's a lot of gimmick stuff out there where people say, hey, push this button and make $1 million. None of that stuff works. But site flipping is something that really does. And if you're kind of like got the mentality that you like, geeky, techie kind of stuff, I know me personally, the reason site flipping was so attractive to me is because it allowed me to do exactly what I love doing. And that is from the technical side of it, doing all the research and picking cool stuff, putting it all together, building a site, and then bam, it's done. And I don't want to do anything after that. I don't want to try to send a whole bunch of traffic to the site necessarily. Right? I like setting the site up. I like that part of it. But, really, it doesn't matter if that's not your favorite thing to do because it is so easy to actually do it, especially with what I'm going to be talking to you about. It's kind of a little bit of a different twist on what most people do out there. Most people for site flipping, I'll get into all the details here in just a little bit, but most people start from scratch or they use very lame generic templates, and that's just not cool. It just doesn't work. We're going to talk about how I earned $1,200 in 2 days flipping websites, and now why I do this full time, as in this is my baby. Okay, love doing this. So let's talk about exactly what site flipping is. In a nutshell, it is where you go out and either you buy an existing website or you set up your own website, and then you want to sell that site for profit. So your goal is get the site and then sell it to somebody else and make some money. The way that you do that is by improving on the site. You have to give it more value. You have to make it worth something. An idea isn't worth much, okay? But something tangible, something that's ready to go, that's worth something. What we're going to be talking about doing here is literally taking an idea, taking a niche, finding a hot niche, and then getting a product for that niche and setting up a website that literally is turnkey. In other words, somebody can come along, they can buy your site. All they have to do is maybe update, the PayPal link code, that kind of stuff. And they are going to actually have a business already set up and ready to go. If they send traffic to it, bam, that's it, makes money. Okay, really, and believe it or not, this is pretty simple to do. And the reason that it's so cool is because a lot of people, there's a lot of newbies out there. And there's also a lot of people that maybe they're not newbies, but they don't want to, mess around with all the technical stuff. And what they end up usually doing is outsourcing it. They end up outsourcing somebody to set up their website. They outsource somebody to create content for them. They outsource somebody to, connect all the dots and make it where it actually works and does something. And then they send traffic to it. Well, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, I'm just going to do all that for you. For one price, you just pay. This is already done. You don't have to wait and screw around with waiting for people to contact you and telling them how to do this and that and, waiting. You got to – that's one thing about outsourcing. You got to coordinate everything with everybody, right? Because you got a guy doing graphics. You got a guy writing content. You got a guy doing the web programming and all that kind of stuff. Forget it. You're providing something that is ready to go, turnkey. They buy it. Like I said, all they do is update their payment information on the site, and bam, done deal. And a lot of people are willing to not only pay what they would pay for outsourcing, but they're willing to pay more, a premium, because it's already done. That cuts out all of their management that they've got to fool with. So it's already set and ready to go. Now, we're going to be focusing on Flippa. There are other sites that you can use if you want to, but the reason that we're focusing on Flippa is because it is a huge site. Okay, but basically it is an auction-based resource for buying and selling websites. So let's say you are looking for a website that's already, up and running. You want a domain name, you want some content there, that kind of thing. You go to Flippa, you do a little poking around, and you find something, and you can bid on it. They also have buy it now options there. So sometimes people can list with a buy it now price, and you just buy it. And as a site creator, which is what we're going to approach this from, you go there and you list your website in an auction environment, and people are going to bid on it. And I'm going to show you at the end of this training, I'm going to show you some killer tricks to get tons of rabid buyers bidding on your auctions on your websites. Okay. In our next video, we are going to take a look at the business model overview. I want you to have kind of a heads up as far as what we're going to be dealing with and what the different videos are going to be about. So I'm going to give you kind of a brief description, and then we will jump right in. Fortunately, what we're going to be doing actually can be laid out, in a step-by-step kind of process, and it's something that really one person can do fairly quickly. As a matter of fact, I would say probably the first time you do this, it'll take you a weekend. Okay, so if you're working or whatever, you got a regular job, you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time on it. You can do one of these in a weekend your first time. Honestly, if I'm really looking to move quickly on something, I can do it in like 2 evenings. Okay, and for the most part, a lot of that, granted, it's because I've been doing this a lot. I've been doing it a long time, and I really know what I'm doing, and I'm proficient in all of the programs that I have to use. But, you can get there fairly quickly. So let's go ahead and take a look at an overview of what is involved. I want you to know, beforehand, like it's good to have like a bird's eye view, right? So you can tell this is everything that is going to be involved, and what puzzles fit where, so you can kind of see the big picture. First off, we want to find a hot niche. So we've got some research that we're going to be doing. I'm going to show you tools that you can use, places that you can go where you can find out what people are looking for, because this is probably the single most important thing that you do. Okay? And really in any internet marketing type business, but in this especially, is you've got to find what people want. Let me tell you a quick story. If you go out and find something that you think is really cool, but nobody else is interested in it, you're going to spend a whole bunch of time putting together something that is going to be worthless. Okay? And let me tell you the story to illustrate it. If you go out and go fishing, and I don't do a whole lot of fishing, okay? I used to when I lived in Florida. I did a lot more fishing. I don't do so much now, but I do know this about fishing. You do not go into your tackle box and find just what your favorite lure is and throw it out in whatever water you see and expect to do good with it. Okay, because there are certain kinds of bait and lures that work for certain kinds of fish. There are certain places where those certain kinds of fish hang out. There are certain times of the day that you want to be there. All of that comes into play to help you select what it is that you're wanting to target and how you will target it. Right? You don't go out and pick the lure first and then hope for the best in the water. You say, okay, I'm going crappie fishing, or I want catfish, or I'm going to try to get some trout or sailfish. You're going to pick what it is that you're looking for, and then you will tailor everything around that. So, do you go out and just find some water and whatever fish happens to be there, that's great? Not really. Not if you're really wanting to. I mean, if you're just wanting to waste an afternoon and relax, then that's fine. But if you're wanting to fill an ice chest full of fish, I used to have a friend that was an avid fisherman. And man, he knew where to go and what to use, and he would come home with an ice chest full of fish. That was the whole point of him going. Okay, how did he do that? Because he knew where those fish were. And your fish is people on the internet that need something, and they want to pay money to get it. So what you have to do is find what those people are looking for. Once you find what they're looking for, you do the same thing like with fishing. You find what they want and you give it to them. Simple as that. That is a formula that you can't go wrong with. Find what they want and give it to them. You provide that, you make money. Now, in this case, when we do our research, what we're trying to find is things that people are looking for so that we can set up a site based around that. And then, not so much so that we can sell it, okay? Not so much that we can sell products and stuff, but so that we can sell that site and the people that are looking for it know it's in a hot market. So after we do our niche research, we're going to do some keyword research. We've got to find out, number one, that there are people looking for this thing, okay? And if you use the tools that I'm going to mention to you in the niche research, that's going to be stuff that people are looking for because that's how it comes up. I'm going to show you how to find really strong niches that people want, lots of people. But in our keyword research, we want to make sure that, yes, a lot of people are searching for it, and two, we want to try to find out if people are willing to pay money for advertising with those keywords. We want keywords that people are buying so that we can see, yes, this is a profitable niche. There are some niches that are really, popular, but it's hard to make money at them. We don't want that. We want something where people are showing that, hey, I'm making money at this because I'm spending money on advertising. Now, for the most part, most of the people out there that you're going to see that do site flipping, they're going to go directly from this to building a website, and they're going to throw up some AdSense on it. Maybe they'll even throw up some affiliate products, things like that. And then people buy that site, and they just have to change their links, their affiliate links and stuff like that. But the deal is, we're going to do something a little bit different. What we're going to do is going to totally set us apart from everybody else out there. Instead of throwing AdSense on our site, instead of throwing affiliate products, we're going to go out and buy a PLR product. Now, you may or may not know what PLR is, okay? I will be going over this in great detail in that section, so I don't want to mention too much now. But a PLR product is a product that you have the rights, you're essentially purchasing the rights to own the product and sell it to others. Okay, that's just kind of the Reader's Digest condensed version of the whole PLR thing. Again, much more detail later. The secret, though, to being successful with this is you don't take that PLR product and just throw it on a site and bam, you're done. You rebrand the product. You make it truly your own by customizing it. And I'm going to show you how this is done. And the beauty of this is that if you go out and you get the right PLR products, it comes with a website already there. It comes with everything you need. Ideally, what happens is people buy a PLR product, and in their mind, ideally what happens is they can take it directly as is, maybe change their name in it, update their pay link, and they can upload it to their website, and bam, they're done. Instant website. It's got good graphics, it's got content, everything. But the secret with being successful at PLR is rebranding it. That way nobody else has it. Because with regular PLR, 1,000 people buy that product, and maybe you got 50 of them end up actually selling it. So there's a lot of competitors selling the exact same thing. How do you distinguish yourself? By rebranding it, new title, new everything. Customize the graphics a little bit so that people can't tell that that's the same thing. You're the only one that has it. With 50 people selling the same product, you got a lot of price gouging going on in there, right? They see 49 other people selling it for $59, so they say, "Oh, I'll sell for 49." Pretty soon somebody else sees that, and they say, "I'll sell for 39." Somebody else sees that, and it ends up $7, and you can buy this right now. Totally devalues it. But if you're the one that has, your title's totally different, and you're selling it for $67, people are going to see that. They're going to go, "Hey, this is a different product. It's more expensive. It's probably got more value to it. I'll buy that one instead." Happens all the time. And that is the secret to successful PLR products, and I'll go into more detail about that later. Then you build your website, and this is going to take, not a whole lot of time, not a whole lot of work. What I actually recommend that you do is some type of integrated blog type thing. Some PLR products you can get like a generic template, a header that you can use, set up a WordPress blog, and you can do it that way. With some, it might be a sales page, and then you add a blog onto it. But either way, what you're going to want to be doing is integrating a blog with it. And I will show you what it is that I do, in different situations to make that happen. Because you want to be able to write content. We've got to be able to put stuff on there so that people are like, "Wow, here it is, bam." And you want the search engines to be attracted to you, and you do that with content. You set up a sales page, and that's it. Search engines don't like that. They're going to be like, "Wow, mini site, whoop-de-doo." But you start adding a bunch of content, and they're like, "Okay, I got you. This is cool." And by the way, there's a lot of different things that you can do. Like, let's say that you get a PLR product that does not have graphics. It doesn't have a website. You can set up your whole, your website as just a blog, and I'll show you even how to set it up where the front page is a static page. That can be your sales letter, and then the blog is kind of an add-on type of thing. It's pretty cool, actually. So you set that up. You get everything working. When at the phase of building a website, there's a whole lot involved. Okay, this is where you would make sure that your buy buttons are working, and if you got to set up PayPal or whatever, that's all going to be done through there. Okay, and then we put that website on Flippa.com. We set it up to sell as an auction. And what happens next? Simple. Rinse and repeat. All you do is, if you've got, and there's a couple ways that you can do it. Actually, if it's a real hot niche, you might want to let that website age for a little bit and just keep adding content every week. Write another article or something. But if you're going to build it and then turn around and sell it right away, that's totally cool. You can make really good bucks for that because, like I said, people are looking for instant turnkey done already. But what you do is when you post it for the auction, just go right back and start on the next one. And hopefully you can get another one ready to go before that auction is even over. That's right. All right, in the next video, we're going to start at the beginning here with hot niche research, and I'm going to show you some tools that you can use to find some killer niches, and we'll even do a little bit of hands-on where I will use them, and I'll kind of just show you around the sites and show you things that you can find, and that'll be in the next video. One of probably the most popular questions that I ever get is about finding hot niches, and fortunately it's actually a very simple thing to do. You've just got to go out there and see what kind of content is there and find out what people are searching for. And it's actually very easy to do. There's lots of tools available for you. When you find a hot niche, then that's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So that's why devoting a little bit of time to this, initially is such an important thing. It doesn't take any more work to create a website based around a hot niche than it does to create a website based around a dead niche that nobody's interested in. So you might as well do a little bit of research and do it right the first time so you maximize the value of your site and how much you're going to be able to make off of it. Now, first thing we'll take a look at is about.com. One thing that you can do there that's pretty cool is use the sitemap just to see what kinds of things are being written about at about.com. So let's go ahead and hop over to our browser and we'll take a look. Okay, so here we are at about.com. And you can see kind of nice here, actually. They got their topics that you can check out. So tons of different categories. If they've got a category here, it's hot. I mean, that's the way it is, right? Let's go to G. Golf, gourmet food, guitar. Okay, I happen to know all of these niches, graphics software, graphics design. All of these are hot niches. Health, losing weight, relationships. I don't know if that would be under here. No, I don't see that. But you get the idea. Anything that's in here, it's hot. What you can do, though, scroll down to the bottom and click on Sitemap. What you get here, I mean, this is so cool. Look at this. Tons and tons and tons of niches. Okay, so what's really nice is, if you don't know of anything you'd want to get into, you can't think of anything off the top of your head, just come here. I mean, bam, that's it. Weight loss pages. That's where the weight loss stuff is at. And look at that. All this content that they've got here. Why do you think they have all this content? Because it's a totally hot niche. That's why. Tennis. Tennis pages. Hot niche. Okay, look at the pages and pages and pages of content here. So, and that's what you're going to find with any of these. They don't make a category for stuff that they're not going to put a whole bunch of content in there about. Okay, camping. Check this out. Bam, it's going to go on and on and on. This is bigger than the tennis list. Look at this. I'm not even a third of the way through. All these articles. If that is a huge niche. So these are tons of ideas for you. Okay, just if you don't have any hobbies and you really don't care what you do, just start at the top of the list and work your way down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just go for it. Okay, so that is about.com, and we can use that to get some niche ideas. Let's head back to the presentation and look at some other options. We can also check out Alexa.com and look at their top 500 sites. Why would we want to go to Alexa? What is Alexa? Maybe you don't know. Alexa is a site that basically does research on other websites and ranks them. So how popular the site is. So if you look at a top 500, those are sites that everybody's going to, right? So if you look at the top 500 sites, you're going to get some niche ideas, some things that people are totally interested in. Let's take a look. Here is Alexa.com. And again, it's pretty neat what they do. If I type in YouTube and I click search, what you're going to get is a whole bunch of stats on YouTube. Their traffic rank, number 3. I mean, out of all the websites in the world, YouTube gets the third greatest amount of traffic. Imagine that. How many sites are linking in? 709,000. It's phenomenal, right? Okay, so here we go down to top sites, and let's click on more. And this is the top 500 sites on the entire internet. Google, Facebook, YouTube, we know these, right? Yahoo, these are search engines. Let's keep going. Twitter, social networking there. Amazon, right? LinkedIn, WordPress. These are all, internet marketing related so far. Microsoft, eBay. eBay is like I don't care about what they say about Google. eBay is the biggest search engine. Flickr. And, basically what you do is you just go through all of these and look for products. A lot of this stuff is going to, or niches, I should say, a lot of this is going to be social media type stuff. A lot of it is going to be technology-based businesses, things like that. So you do have to kind of wade through it. But this allows you to see, what is it people are interested in? What are they looking for? All right, let's head back to our slideshow. And this next one is, I tell you what, one of my favorites, Amazon. Amazon is literally a stockpile of hot niches. All you got to do is go there and you will find something to get involved in. Even if when I go there, I get like information overload. I get like ideas coming into my mind that I have to totally control myself because so much stuff there. Let's check it out. Now, here we have Amazon, and seriously, I use this for all kinds of research. If I'm going to maybe create a product or I want to get into a niche for flipping, whatever it is, Amazon is the go-to website for finding out what people are into. If we go over to books, believe me, all this stuff here, you can get distracted. Go over to books and click books. And we've got here more spring new releases, so you can find out, what's coming out, what's new. Over here on the left, this right here, this is worth its weight in gold. I kid you not. New York Times bestseller, best books of 2010, award winners, all these different categories. Again, if they've got a category here, it's a hot niche to be in. All of these, you can just check them out. They've got some stuff on, you can check out the Kindle bestsellers, best-selling books, new releases in books. Let's check out hot new releases in books, okay? And what you will have here, of course, a lot of these are novels, but just scroll through here and find out what is it that people are interested in. Baseball. Weight loss is always something. There will always be a weight loss, new weight, some kind of diet, something released. That's because that is like big time popular deal. Again, lots of novels. Here is a slow cooker revolution, right? Just go through this list, get some killer ideas. And what I love about it, look at it says, hot new releases, right? What I love about it is this is going to constantly be updating. If you go and set up a site based on a niche and get everything running and list it, by the time you're done with it, come back here and there'll be new stuff. Something else that you can start on. Okay, but again, just go to books and look at these categories. Outdoors and nature. And a lot of times you'll get categories and then you'll get subcategories. Look over here. Now we're doing bird watching, conservation, hunting, nature writing, all these different things. So you can get very, very specific and laser targeted if you want. Okay, excellent tool. Amazon.com. Use it, folks. Let's take a look at our presentation. We'll look at the next option. I mentioned earlier that eBay is really the biggest search engine on the internet. That's because it does more searches than Google does. Somebody comes on eBay and they do a bazillion searches. Plus, there's other websites that are working with the eBay search engine. All over the internet, people are looking for stuff. It's just phenomenal. So what eBay came up with was this thing called the eBay Pulse. And that just lets you know, what are people looking for? It's a place for you to go and find out what people are going to eBay and looking for. Why? Well, so that you can sell it. If you have whatever they're looking for, then sell it. That's kind of primarily what they do it for. But if you can see that people are looking for this, it's a hot niche. It's a hot niche idea. And if you can set up a site that caters to that, then it's a good deal. It's golden. Okay, let's take a look. Now, I will tell you this. I have been doing this for using eBay Pulse for, let's say, 2 years at least. And in those 2 years, almost the same things are always in this top 10. Just so you know, these are always wicked hot niches. Okay, always. But you can check on them. You can click, and these are keywords. These are things that people are searching for. So if you want ideas of super hot stuff, it's in there. Now they tell you here, it's a daily snapshot of current trends. So what you will find is on any given day, some of these items here could be replaced. Because if something happens that maybe there's a new movie released, or there's a game that is aired that makes a team real popular or something, on any given day, something could pop in here and push something else down. But for the most part, these guys right here are pretty rock solid. Okay, PlayStation, Xbox, the Wii is not on here right now, but I've seen it on here a lot. iPod stuff's been on here. iPhone's been on here ever since they made the iPhone. So, and these Coach handbags, I don't get this, but those handbags are always on there. I kid you not. All right, so these are hot picks. Check them out. Again, good niche ideas. Let's get back to our presentation. Now, as if what we have talked about so far is not enough, because trust me, folks, you will have more ideas than you can shake a stick at just coming up to the eBay Pulse. But I'm going to mention another one. Magazines.com. And the reason that I mentioned this is because you don't have to go there necessarily, okay? It's a great place to go, but it's basically a list of magazines. It's like a directory, so you can sign up and subscribe to these magazines. But the main reason that I want to mention this is because if you see a magazine and it's something that interests you, you know right away, this is my 30-second litmus test, it is a popular niche, because you do not start a magazine company, a publication, without a huge surplus of interested users. Okay, there's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of personnel that has to be put into place. Getting a magazine going is tough. So it's only done in niches that there's a big demand, so that advertisers are going to be excited about using that magazine to advertise. Okay, and that should make a lot of sense to you. If they've got a magazine for it, then it's a hot niche. So, all right, up next, buzz.yahoo.com. Isn't that cool? It's going to show you trendy searches on Yahoo, as in what all of a sudden are people looking for. And that's pretty cool, because you can tell if there's a direction that things are going, right? You can stay up on the game. Let's check it out. Here we are at buzz.yahoo.com. Buzz as in what are people checking out? Kobe Bryant. New movie coming out. Hijacked America. Oh, somebody got shot. That's terrible. Refinancing bad credit. Hot niche. Very hot niche. Some politics stuff. John Deere construction vehicles. Hey, maybe that's something getting pretty exciting. So anyhow, we've got 1 through 15 of 41. I'll just check out the next page, and then we will move on. But you can see just what kinds of things people are looking for. And sometimes something might come up here that just catches your eye and gets you excited, and you know that there's going to be a lot of searches on it. And when there's a lot of searches on something, let's say that a trend starts, right? And people are looking for something quite a bit. If you check this out and you stay on top of it and you catch that trend early and you set up a website with the appropriate keywords and content, Google's going to love you. Search engines are going to adore you. Okay, so that is basically it for the hot niche research that we need to do. And again, trust me, with these tools, you will have no shortage whatsoever of hot niches that you can get in. And you can know, if you found something with these tools, it's going to be a hot niche. Absolutely. All right, up next, we're going to start with our keyword research. I'm going to go over some tools that you're going to be using and the kinds of things that we're looking for. Our next step is to do some keyword research, and this is for a couple of reasons, actually. We want to find out and verify that, yes, there is competition out there. There are people that are bidding on the keywords that we're targeting, and that means that they're willing to pay some money, so that means that it's a profitable niche. Okay, if there's nobody bidding, if you get into a niche or you get an idea and you go into these tools here and you find out that, hey, nobody's bidding. If you go to Google and you type in the keyword and there's no ads, not a good sign, folks. That means nobody's making money at it. And the chances of you finding, an undiscovered market, not good. So we want to verify that there are, things out there that that there are people out there trying to make money with this, and they're making money. And we also want to kind of assemble a list of keywords that we are going to be targeting when we put articles on our website. Okay? Because really, the better job you do of this, the better the site when you list it to try to auction it off, the more money you're going to make. And people are able to see, they'll go there, and at least people that know what they're doing, they're going to go there to Flippa, and they're going to check out your thing, they're going to check out the site, and they're going to know, okay, they know what they're doing, and this site's going to do well, right? So, very, very important. One of the tools that I find invaluable, Word Tracker, essentially gives you some really good keyword information. Okay, and let's just go ahead and go over and take a look at it. You can sign up and get a free account, and all the information really that you need is available on the free account. We're looking mainly for how many searches per day do these keywords give us. Okay. And here is Word Tracker. You are going to want to sign up actually for the free trial, and that'll give you plenty of time to, you get 7 days to try it out, no charge, and that'll give you plenty of time to get going, with probably, depending on how fast you move, you could get a couple of niche sites going. But what you're going to find out is if this turns into a regular business opportunity for you, and you decide, yeah, this is something I want to do, you're probably going to want to hold on to your account here at Word Tracker. Let's go ahead and click Start your keyword research. And what you want to do is, first off, you're going to find something, maybe you got a keyword idea, right, from your niche research. So you're going to type that keyword idea, and you can be pretty generic here in the box. You can see I've already got one from before, but I'll show you how this works. You type your keyword in there, click search, and then what's going to happen is it's going to go out and find other keywords that are related. Okay, and you can kind of go through here and get an idea of what kinds of stuff would make sense, right? What kinds of stuff could be sold. Maybe you're going to do, if you're going to do some kind of product or something on yoga, in this case, yoga beginners. Okay, let's do that. Let's do a search. Yoga beginners or yoga basics, anything like that. Click search there. Okay, so yoga beginners here. Have a few options here, nothing really that you want to probably fool with, but let's scroll down. Yoga beginners kit. Now what you're getting here is you're getting the number of searches, the number of daily searches on this keyword term. And over here, under competition, we also see the number of links that are in title and anchors. Okay, that means like articles out there that this keyword phrase is in the title, and that they're using the anchor text, the text that is clicked and linked, right? They're using that in the backlink. And those are the kinds of things that give credibility to content. So if you're on another site and you create something and you use Yoga Beginner's Kit as your text to link back to your website, and on your website there's an article titled Yoga Beginner's Kit, then that gives a lot of weight to that article because of that inbound anchor text and the title of your article, the title of your page, I should say. Now, what we're having here is we're looking at a good number of searches with a very low number of competition links coming in. So what we're trying to do with our keyword research is we're trying to see, can we compete? Is there, are there keyword terms that we could beat people out in? And what I'm telling you is that you can get, you could get 100 quality inbound links in a month, maybe 2 months, very easily. So for me to look at this right here, Yoga Beginner's Kit, it would be very easy, and considering that it gets 542 searches a day, it would be very easy for me to rank quickly for that particular term. Okay, and you can see we've got a very high KEI score, and that's like, it's a special index that's telling you the ratio of searches to inbound links. Okay, but now you got to take this with a grain of salt, because if the keyword phrase is totally worthless, then there's a reason, why there's not a lot of inbound links in competition. In this particular case, though, Yoga Beginner's Kit, I think, is actually a pretty good one. So especially if I've got a yoga PLR product that I'm going to do, then that would be totally awesome, right? I set this up. I do a few articles titled Yoga Beginner's Kit. I use inbound anchor text. My links have that Yoga's Beginner's Kit phrase in them, and going to be pretty easy for me to beat out that 7 links there. Okay, and you can just check out. Now, a lot of these have some pretty low searches, pretty low daily searches, so not going to fool with those. I'm looking for at least, 200-300 a day for a keyword that I want to fool with. I mean, look at this. Yoga for beginners, 100 searches a day, basically, and competition crazy high. Not even going to go for that. Almost 5,000 links in title and anchor text. Almost impossible to beat that out. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do Photoshop, one of my favorite pieces of software. And we would do maybe Photoshop tutorials. Let's do that. Let's say that we're going to get a PLR product that is Photoshop. And as I guesstimated here, 1,258 searches a day for Photoshop tutorials, 25,000 links coming in. Crazy hot niche, but very tough for you to do anything with that. Photoshop Elements online tutorials, a fair amount of searches daily, not any inbound tags, so we could rank for that one pretty easy if we were into the Photoshop Elements thing. Now here's one that's not bad at all. Photoshop tutorials for beginners, 230 searches a day and only 60 links. Okay, that's something I could do. I would definitely want to put that on the list. And maybe even Photoshop CS5 tutorials. That one's kind of borderline. I don't like the daily searches there, but it probably still would get us a fair amount of traffic, and it would look good. So you get the idea there with that. We're looking for keyword ideas. We're going to get, maybe you're going to write like a dozen, maybe 15 articles. So you want at least that many keywords that seem like, yes, it's possible for me to rank for this. for the site to rank for it and make it look good. Now, another tool that I want to mention, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but because it is something that you do have to purchase, and it's not exactly cheap. Micro Niche Finder. I do use this pretty regularly because it kind of simplifies the way the whole process works. In other words, it allows you to type in a keyword. It's going to show you a bunch of other keywords, and it basically gives you a red, yellow, or a green on whether there's a possibility that you're going to be able to rank for that keyword. You know how easy it would be. Another tool that I recommend is a little toolbar for your Firefox browser. Go to tools.seobook.com, and this is a plugin. It's pretty cool. Let me show you what it looks like. It gives you, right here, this little toolbar, and it shows me a lot of information. It shows me the PR for the site. It shows me link domain, the inbound links and stuff like that. For example, let's do one of these here. Photoshop tutorials for beginners. We'll just do one of these, and I will take the first free. Actually, this one would be better. Let's go back to this one. This has the exact phrase in the title. Okay, and this is going to tell us now the PR for this particular page, right? It's got a PR of 3, which is, you know, fairly decent. It's not like phenomenal or anything like that, but not bad. 18 links coming into this page, so not impossible to beat this out. Pretty easy, actually, if you put forth a little effort. And what we're doing really is, remember, we want to see what is the likelihood that we can put up some content that is going to allow us to rank higher than this site. And really, all you got to do, folks, listen, this is not all about becoming, you know, on page 1. It's not, position number 1. It's not about, can I get to position number 1? It's about how easy could I bump these guys off, 9 and 10. Okay, like let's go down here to position 9. Look at this. PR nothing. PR nothing. So what about me going ahead and doing a little bit of SEO and just getting this guy off? What if I can just beat him out and get myself on that first page, even if I'm at the bottom? I'll tell you what, most people that go, they do a search for Photoshop like this, they're going to go to a lot of these sites. They really are. They're going to go to a lot of those links because they're looking for some good information. Okay? And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Just explore all of this. It's just a really cool toolbar for you to get. Okay? And what you want to do, I already mentioned this a little bit, what you want to do when you use this tool and you do your research, you want to find out what PR these sites have. PR is PageRank, by the way, just in case you're not into the SEO thing just yet. You will be soon, but if you're not there yet, that's PageRank. That's Google's algorithm for how important or relevant a page is on the internet, for a particular topic especially. So you want to check out what kind of PR that page has, how many backlinks it has. You want to check out the quality of the pages, because quality is very, very, very important. Is it, you know, a bogus, junky page? Does it look terrible? Is it laid out bad? Does it have trashy content? Is it just repeat content kind of stuff? If you want to rank well, what you want to do here is create original content, good quality original content. And it's not so much that, you know, you have to do the writing. You might be dealing with a niche that you know nothing about. Fine, who cares? You hire some guy, you know, for $15 to write 15 articles. Good quality articles. Find them on Elance or Rent-A-Code or something like that. Using alt tags. What about on the pages, when they have images on the page, are they using alt tags that have keywords? This is a major, what you're trying to do, remember, is how can I beat out these other guys with better SEO? What can I do to make my site more friendly to Google, where Google would like my site better? What keywords are they targeting? You can go back to the external keyword tool for Google, and you can put their page in. Okay, take their actual page, copy it to the clipboard, put it in the external keyword tool, and it's going to tell you what keywords they are targeting. Maybe I should do that, right? Let me show you an example. Actually, I'll mention the last thing, and then we'll go look at a site, and actually I'll show you all of this stuff so we can get kind of an idea of what's going on. What kind of keyword density are they using? Because if they ranked, if they're at position 9, they did something good enough that Google likes them enough to put them on the first page. So we want to kind of mimic, we want to see what they have done and what we can do better. Maybe their keyword density was only 1%. Let's try to bump it up to 2% and see if that's better. What that means is, out of 100 words, if we're going to target 2% keyword density, out of 100 words, we're going to take our targeted keyword and we're going to use it twice. Now, let me give you a little tip here. A lot of times in writing, guys get crazy with the keyword density thing, and they say, okay, I want to do 3.1% keyword density, and Google's going to love me. But what I have found is a lot of times, if you keep that keyword in mind and you write for human beings, and you just use that keyword when appropriate, again, you focus on the keyword, you do want to have it in there, but you don't overkill yourself. You just write for people. Then the search engines do love it, okay? But you want to make sure at the same time that you are using your keyword enough in the article. So let's take a look now at, I'll evaluate some of these sites maybe, and we'll look at what's going on, and you can kind of get an idea what to look for. So here we've got this first one. The keyword phrase, number 1, is not totally, the search phrase that we looked for in this case, not totally in the title, but just parts of it really. PR is pretty high. It looks, I don't know, it looks like a kind of a decent page. The problem is it's more like a directory. It doesn't have a whole lot of actual text content. And look at this. If I hover over the images, I'm not getting anything. No alt tag being used there. If I wanted to see what keywords were being targeted, I'm copying that to the clipboard. Let's do the fastest way I find to get to the external keyword tool is to just search for external keyword tool, because it's a long URL to actually get there. I'm going to paste that site in there, do my little CAPTCHA, and do a search, and Google's going to go to that page. It's going to say, okay, here's the keywords that I see, and look at this, a lot of irrelevant phrases. How to make a web, how to make website templates. If we're doing Photoshop tutorials, this is not a very well targeted page. How to make web template, text effect. Yeah, it probably wouldn't, the content on there, not very good. Not very relevant, I should say. Let's back up. 12 beginner tutorials for getting started with Photoshop. And let's do the same thing with this one. See what it finds with that. Creating a website, a lot of this stuff focused on the creating a website kind of deal. Getting started with digital photography. You know, Google sees a whole lot of stuff on this page, and I'm not sure that it's very relevant. Okay, now they are using the alt image tags on this page, at least sometimes it appears. Yeah. So they are using alt image tags on that one. Don't know how relevant the keyword phrases are. Whoa, hold on a second. Did I just see? Is this the right site? No. It was this one, wasn't it? There it is. Personal sub. Is that cool or what? I'm going to bookmark that. I got to come back to check that out later. Got to get me one of those. Okay. Let's check out. Really, again, we want to focus on these ones on the bottom because these are the ones that we want to try to beat out. And that's the beauty of this, is it's not all about, oh, you know, can I totally blast these guys and get myself into the first slot there. It's not all about that. Now, they're ranking pretty good for some of these more Photoshop tutorial type of keywords. Not so much. Now, see, they're probably, I don't know, it looks like they're targeting a different animal. At least Google's seeing them differently. They got a PR of 4. Now, that's pretty decent. But look at all the content. See the difference here? Look at all the actual content there instead of just pictures. Let's see if they're using alt tags. They're not. When you hover over an image, that just tells you. If you hover over and there is an alt tag, so see, look at that. I mean, we can probably out SEO those guys. Let's go ahead and go up one more. Now, about.com, man, they're hard to beat out. So we're checking PR, we're checking links, we're checking the general appearance of the site. Does it have good content on it? I find actually a lot of the about pages are, it's kind of strange because it's not, you know, the first page that you go to a lot of times is more like a little directory with a ton of ads and links to other articles. It's not so much an actual article. So you have to check that out. Keyword density again. Let's go to this one because it had a lot of content. And let's see. Photoshop tutorials. It's on there. So let's check this out. Photoshop tutorials. There we see it's there once. Yeah, boy, that's it. Let's see something else here. They have it broken up, but I doubt that. Yeah, that's not even. They're just getting that because it's related. Let's go to training. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty much 4 or 5, something like that. It starts to repeat. And in the article itself, just do a little, there's Photoshop there in the title, tips and tricks for beginners. Is that what we're actually, yeah, or we're doing tutorials for beginners, okay. Let's check that out actually, that whole phrase, because they're ranking for it. Actually, let's just do beginners. There's one, and just the one. So see if we actually went in there and we targeted that particular phrase and we put content that used that phrase. They're not even using it a whole lot, okay? So we can out SEO them pretty easy. We could go out and maybe do a little bit of article marketing and get some links back to our site. Again, the more work we do beforehand, the more better the better the site looks to a buyer, and the more it's going to be worth to them. Now, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love using Microsoft Excel. I keep a lot of information about keywords in here, you can see. So when I'm doing my research, I'm compiling data. So I recommend that you do the same because, sorry, I forgot that's out of the window for you, because this is a way for, and I know, hey, this is a little bit of work, right? But listen, it's you're putting some sweat equity into a business that is going to allow you to make more money. The more work you put into this in the beginning, the more money you're going to make, because the more the site is worth. If you can tell in your listing on Flippa, if you can say, hey, I've done this and this and this, I've written articles at directories and they're pointing back here and those links will remain there. I have beat out a lot of the sites as far as keywords that I'm targeting. There's this many articles out there and I wrote this many articles, and this is good quality information. And why? Because these are original articles and they target the keywords specifically. If you can outline for them all the research and the work that you have done and why this site is in a position, to make some money, and hopefully, maybe even you do make some money if you hold on to the site for a little while, then it's awesome, right? That it's going to be worth so much more to them as a buyer. Means you get more money. All right, now, up to this point, it's been pretty straightforward as far as what we should do for research and picking the niche that we want to be in and making sure that it's going to make us some money. This is what normal people do when they're going to flip sites. But in the next video, we're going to do something that is a little bit different, and it involves PLR products. I want to first just kind of go over what private label rights is so you have a really good understanding. Just in case you don't, just in case you don't know what it is. PLR stands for private label resale rights. It means that somebody creates a product and then they offer it for sale, but in a special, very, very special way. Typically, you go out and you buy a product, right? And you can use that product yourself. You can't then copy the product and sell it to other people, right? Well, with private label rights, you can. You are actually buying the rights to the product so that you can do, a lot of different things with it. In a lot of cases, you can change the title, you can change the content of it, you can put your own name on it, and then you can sell it to other people without having to have actually created the product. That's essentially what you're doing, is buying the rights to it. And don't worry, it is actually totally legal. You can't buy rights to every product. Some people sell their product and that's it. They want to just sell the product to end users. Others create products for the purpose of you being able to buy the rights to it. So yes, a lot of times you have to pay a little more, especially for the good quality stuff. A lot of times this stuff will come with a website. Like it'll already have the graphics and stuff. Preferably, they give you source graphics because, well, you'll see why on the next slide. I want to tell you how you really kill it by doing PLR. A lot of times it'll even give you maybe a free offer to give away. They'll give you autoresponder emails. They'll give you a whole bunch of stuff. Some sites, like nakedplr.com, for example, will give you just the content. That's it. Just like an ebook, or maybe they'll do a video, and that's all you get is just that, and boom, you're set. You go out and you do everything else with it yourself. Okay, but it gives you a huge head start, and it is usually much cheaper than going out and trying to hire somebody to create it for you. But understand that when you buy a private label rights product, you are the owner. That means it is your product. And it's totally ethical, totally legal to put your name on it, or somebody else's name if you want to just use a pen name. You can do whatever you want to with it. Now, you got to check the terms when you buy private label rights products, because some of them are different. They have master rights, and they have regular PLR, and they have, a bunch of different kinds of versions, really, that give you different levels of what you can do. So you do got to check that. But a nice thing, too, about PLR products is, if you're an affiliate for something, let's say, you don't have any control over the price of that product at all. The vendor owns it, right? They set the price. Well, with a PLR product, you set the price. So here's why PLR is bad. Because some guys go out there, they buy the product, they buy the PLR package and they want to sell it. And then some other guys out there and they want to sell it and they start fighting with each other. Okay? So it's a price war, right? And this guy wants to undercut this guy, and so they work it down. And pretty soon you can buy a whole library of crappy PLR for $7. It's just ridiculous. Well, you do set your own price, right? But there's a way around all of that, because most people take the PLR and they buy it, they set it up, and they sell it. And that's it. That's all they do. The secret to making your PLR aspect of this working is rebranding. You're going to take the, actually, let's go ahead and go to the next slide, and we'll talk more in detail about rebranding. You're going to take the content that you get, and you're going to change it up. Now, what that means is, don't worry, it's not a lot of work. It means we want to change the title of the product. We're going to call it something else. Because if everybody out there that bought this PLR package is selling Yoga with Jeremy, and they don't change the title, then now you have like 500 people selling the same product, and they're going to do that price bidding thing, price war, right? Now, if you've got beginning yoga with Johnny Guru, nobody else has that. So when they see 500 people selling this product for $10, and they see you selling your product for $47, they're going to be like, okay, these guys are selling junk, and this is probably this $47 course. This is what I want to look at. Okay, so just a simple thing like changing the title. You might also want to go through there and do a search and replace. And if there's a name in there, change yours out, right? Put your name in there. You can also change the graphics up a little bit. Now, the reason I mention this is because sometimes a PLR package will include a website and maybe an ebook design. The really good ones include source graphics for all of that, because you need to be able to tweak it. Change the colors a little bit. Maybe swap out the graphics to it. Now, what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to show you a PLR package that I purchased, and then I'm going to show you the changes that I made to it and how just a few little swapping out things makes it a totally different product. Now, it's not going to be a Photoshop tutorial, okay? I'm not going to go through all this stuff about Photoshop and how you do all this stuff. This is about site flipping, okay? But I am going to show you the before and after, and we'll talk about what the differences were. It's amazing how just a few things that you change give you a totally original product that nobody else has. And the thing is, it's so stupid. Nobody does this. Nobody goes out there and they want the easiest buck that they can make, so they buy the PLR. They don't do any work to it. They throw it up, and then they gripe about the fact that 500 other people are selling the same thing. Okay, so the key here is the rebranding. Then do your own little spin on the content. Actually read the ebook and maybe do a little bit of editing. Put some things in your own words. Just make it a little bit different. If it comes with a website that has a sales page, definitely go over that sales page and change it up. Customize it. I would much rather start out with a 1,500 word sales page, and I go in there and just read it and tweak it to make it my own, than have to write it from scratch. I guarantee you that. I mean, it's a lot more work writing it from scratch. But truly make the package your own. try to do every little thing that you can do just to make it different than everybody else that's selling the PLR. Okay, so let's go ahead in the next video and I'll talk to you about a PLR product that I grabbed and the changes that I made to the graphics and things like that, and you can see how big a difference it makes. Okay, so here is a PLR product that I purchased, actually in a package of PLR products. It came with graphics and content, things like that. Everything basically ready to go, PSD format. That means, for those of you that don't know, PSD is a graphics format for Adobe Photoshop. And that just means you get the actual source graphics and then you do with it what you want. Okay? And this right here is a template that came with the package that is an e-cover, kind of e-book looking thing, for like a DVD case or something, or you can make a little book with it or something like that. And this is the graphics that came with it. You'll notice, and again, this is not going to be a Photoshop training, folks, okay? I am just going to show you that what I get here is all the different elements. Okay, here's the different elements of this package, those little birdies, the text elements that are in there. Let's find a title here maybe. The coins on the ground. Okay, they're all the treasure chest. They're all little elements that are all different. Okay, and then put together, it's called a composition. It's a bunch of different things together, makes one, final visual product here. Well, here's what I did, and again, just go in there, tweak some things, change the title. It took me about 15-20 minutes. Bam. Okay, completely new product. I changed the title to Twitter Traffic. I rearranged the little description thing that pops up here, added it to the spine, changed the spine up, made my little birdies green and have many more of them, right? Look, I just duplicated them. Made it like they were saying all this with the little box there. Changed the overall color theme to that green color. Simple to do, 15-20 minutes, completely new product. So that is all that it takes to make the switches so that you've got a new product. If you've got content that you're dealing with, you want to do the same thing. This package also came with a web template. I would want to do the same thing with that web template. Match this new theme that I've created here. And if there's sales copy, I want to go through that. I want to configure that so that it's more customized towards me. Okay, you can throw in some of your personality, stuff like that. But the bottom line is, this is actually not very difficult to do, and it totally sets you apart. So now you're going to have this product set up on your new website, and you're going to set that on Flippa, and bam, it's like somebody can walk in to an instant website and product with content, and it's all customized. They're the only ones truly that really have that exact product. All right, up next, we're going to go through the process. I'm going to tell you basically what it is that you want to do to get your website up and running after you've got the product all customized and ready to go. Simple website process here, but a few tips that I do want to give you so that you don't, it doesn't come back and bite you later on. First off, you need to register a domain utilizing keywords. Okay, you did your keyword research. Try to get some of those keywords in the domain, or if it's a new product that you made, right, with the PLR thing or whatever, the new title that you've got, see if that's available, maybe. I always recommend try to stick with the .com as the suffix there, because those are the best selling. Now, you want to sign up for a brand new monthly hosting account. Here's why. You don't want to put this on your own, maybe you've got a hosting account with unlimited domains, blah, 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 and all that stuff. That's great and fantastic, but you want to offer the flexibility that the buyer on Flippa is able to literally take over the account without doing anything. They don't have to download and upload nothing. They don't have to change any information. Well, other than changing the registrar information, but that can all be done right there in the hosting account. Okay, so once the transaction's over, you give them all of the information that they need to log in, and they can update their own registrar information there on the site. But that's all they can do their own payment information, everything. It's literally just a little swap, and that's very convenient. Okay, once you get that up, then you're going to upload your site. You want to set up everything and make it fully functional. What that means is very simple. Do PayPal, right? PayPal's super duper easy. Configure a PayPal buy button, do the download page, thank you page, whatever. Just make everything where it really works just like it's supposed to. It's turnkey. Somebody comes to the site, they click the buy button, they pay, they get taken to the thank you page. It just works. Okay, make sure all of that works. If there's an autoresponder, if there's an opt-in box on there anywhere, make sure that that's plugged into your autoresponder so that they can see, bam, this really is set up, functioning, everything works. And then all they've got to do is come in and make changes to maybe the PayPal button. They create their own PayPal button, and they make changes so that it goes into their account when the purchase is made. But that's the only change that they have to make, right? Okay, you want to test everything. You don't want, as people are going to check out your site when they're on Flippa. They're going to go check it out, and if stuff's not working, then they're not going to be impressed. Okay, and then you want to blog. 10 to 15 keyword-rich articles. These articles do not have to be in-depth. They don't have to be long by any means. 300 to 400 words, that's not a lot of writing. It's not difficult. If you found out that somebody that ranked well is using a 2% keyword density, then make sure you use a 2% keyword density. You have to be really careful with, Google will actually penalize you if you use too great of a keyword density. They're going to assume that you're doing keyword stuffing and spamming. So if you've got a 300-word article and you're using your keyword 50 times, they're going to be like, okay, no, you're cut off. Thanks. Bye. So, with blogging, let me just give you some. This is not really about article writing, but I want to give you some pointers. It's not about SEO, but again, I want to give you some helpful info. When you pick your keyword, let's say you get your dozen or so keywords that you've decided to target. You're going to pick one keyword. You're going to write one article about that keyword, and the title is going to have the keyword in it, the title of the page. Any headers on the article itself, you want to have the keyword in there as well. You want to maybe bold or italicize that keyword at least once or twice in the article. I suggest you do use images and use the keyword as the alt tag in the images. And if you have any, if you decide to do any link building, which would be, just beneficial to you in the long run, if you decide to do any link building, make sure that you use that same keyword with anchor text back to that specific blog post. Okay, and as far as the blog goes, let me mention this. I suggest that you use WordPress, set up a blog on the site, and make the permalinks so that the title of the article is in the permalink, not just a number, a page number. By default, WordPress uses those page numbers for the permalinks, and that is not very keyword friendly for search engines. So you can change that though, and WordPress has like a million pages of documentation, so you can figure out how to do that. But just as a word to the wise. And then I suggest that you use Google Sitemap and do a submission. Okay, what this is going to do is create a layout of your website that search engines are going to absolutely love. And it gets Google to crawl your website right away, okay, which is cool. That means you have a really good chance of getting indexed very quickly. Do that after you have the 10 to 15 articles, though. And really depending on, I don't know how much you like writing. Me personally, I can sit down, if I have time, I can sit down and write a ton of articles fairly quickly. I'm pretty proficient at it. If you like writing, you can knock all these off in a day. If you don't, try to at least do one or two in a day. If you're gonna go ahead and devote an evening, to your business, try to knock out a couple articles in that time frame. Okay. All right. Up next, we're going to talk about selling on Flippa. I'll give you some tips and how you can get more money for your sites. Now, some things I want to talk about in regards to you being successful selling on Flippa, because you've got to approach this with the right attitude. This is a for real business, okay? Myself, and I know a lot of other people that make big money flipping sites on a regular basis, like as in full-time, that's all we do kind of stuff, okay? So with that in mind, on Flippa, just like on eBay, okay, it's an auction environment, and just like on eBay, you have a reputation. And that reputation is very important. People are going to check out your reputation as far as, when they're going to make a bid on something. They want to see that you've really got the goods, that you've got a proven track record. So it is very important that you do a good job. And if you follow the guidelines that I've mentioned so far in the training, you should do pretty good with that, okay? Now, there are certain kinds of sites that outsell others on Flippa, and I do want to tell you what kinds of sites those are. Auto blogs and AdSense sites. Now, what that is, an auto blog is like it's got a piece of software that it just creates content from grabbing other content on the internet. Okay, so it like takes articles and it posts them on your blog. Those do very good. AdSense sites, so setting up a site targeting keywords and putting some Google AdSense on it, those do pretty good as well. But when I say they do good, I mean that they sell well. They sell frequently, but they sell for less money. Okay, so they're fairly inexpensive. They are, in many respects, a lot easier to set up than some other things. So, you can turn them pretty quickly. But to get a lot of money, like on an AdSense site, it's going to have to be an old site that shows, that it makes money every single day. A lot of people, if you've got an AdSense site that'll make $1 a day in AdSense, you can do pretty good with those because people see that, for a relatively small investment, they'll be making some money with it. And if they add content to it, that'll just grow. Okay? That's just kind of the skinny on those types of sites. That's not really the model that I'm going after here in this training. I'm telling you, get some good quality PLR, rebrand it, and set that up as a turnkey business for somebody. You're going to make a whole lot more money off of those. I mean, these kinds of sites, auto blogs and AdSense, maybe $100. Okay, but I mean, it won't take you long to set them up. That's for sure. Your site needs original content to do well on Flippa. If you just go out there with stuff that they're going to find all over the internet, that does not make it a truly unique business opportunity for somebody. That's why I stress on the rebranding of the PLR stuff and customizing your sales page kind of stuff. You have to have something that truly nobody else has. And that gives them, as far as leverage, that's a much better position to be in as a website owner. So you put them in that position and they're going to pay more money for it. Now, what do we do after we pick our we start off picking our niche, we pick some keywords, we get a PLR product. By the way, it's totally cool to, in addition to AdSense, you can get some affiliate offers, ClickBank, share a sale, that kind of stuff. and stick that on there too. Just as long as they just have to change their, some kind of code or something so that it's their product then that they're promoting. But after you get all this set up, because the first time, yes, you might work on it all weekend before you get it going. You'll get faster though, and as you realize, okay, this is not very difficult to do. You spend a little bit of time to do it. Bam, you're done. What do you do next? You do it again, folks. This is a process that never stops. As soon as you list a site, you get the whole thing done, it's tested, it's working, list it right away, start on another one. Don't even worry about what's going on with that particular auction at that point. Get your mind off of it, so to speak. You want to set up sites as quickly as possible, but keep the quality of the sites high. Remember that reputation you're going to have. You want to show people, I'm making some good stuff here. Okay, I'm setting up good sites. I am finding niches that are hot. I'm finding good keywords, and I'm writing good quality articles. And everything works. It's turnkey. Bam, you're done. And this is in-demand product kind of stuff. Now, sometimes you might stumble onto a niche that could be very, very profitable for you. What you might consider doing is not listing that site right away. Get it all set up, make it all work, and do some link building so that it actually makes some sales, and allow that site to age for a little while. Once you get the site, if you get a site to a point where it'll make you $500 a month, you can sell that easily, for $3,000-$4,000. It just depends on how you can prove things as far as what the site's actually doing. Anybody, it's a no-brainer. If a site makes $500 a month, anybody's going to would be willing to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on it, because in just a few months they're going to be in profit, and from there, it's just cake, right? All right, let's talk about some Flippa tips. These are very, very, I tell you what, let's save this for the next video, because this is going to be pretty extensive. I'm going to spend a good bit of time on this because I got some things to explain. So we'll take a look at Flippa tips in the next video. The goal of this video is I want to tell you about some things that you can do to get more activity on your Flippa auctions. And when you get more activity, that means the bids go up, because the more people, the more exposure you get, the more people bidding on the things. The fact is, people want what other people want, right? So if you got nobody bidding on your auction, then others aren't going to bid on it. But if you got 15, 20 people bidding on your auction, then other people are going to bid, and they're going to bid more in order to get it. Okay, so the trick here is getting more bids. Hands down, to get more bids, first thing you can do, use the featured listing. Okay, it's only $29, and it will get you a lot more exposure. It's very, very effective, and it's worth the $29. Provided you think your site's going to, sell for over $100 or so. I suggest you do a 5-day listing. Start at $1 and no reserve. That makes things very, very appealing to people. They figure, okay, I've got an opportunity to get in here pretty inexpensively, and that gets you initial bids, and then those initial bids in turn get you more interested bids. Now I'm going to tell you something that is somewhat of a sneaky tactic, okay? If you're new to Flippa, when you create your auction and people bid on it, those bids actually have to be approved by you, okay, initially when they first are made. Once you approve it, then, yes, it's a binding bid and it goes public. Everybody knows about it. So what people usually do is when you list it, you're going to get a lot of bids right away, and they'll go in and they'll approve those bids, okay, as soon as they come in. But what you're going to do is a little bit different. When you get that first little flood of bids, you're going to find the lowest one and approve it, and then completely ignore the others for 12 hours. Okay, so 12 hours later, don't even worry. Go work on your next project. Okay, don't even worry about what's coming in. Don't reply to messages, nothing. And then what you do is 12 hours later, you come in and you got probably a whole bunch of bids piled up, because since it's such a brand new, only one person bid on it kind of thing, and the bid is very, very low, you're going to get a lot of other people that want to jump in thinking that they have an opportunity to pick up something wicked cheap, right? Well, what you do then is you accept all the bids at once. And then you just let the auction run. You respond to all the messages. You leave, if there's any comments that need to be added, stuff like that. And you accept bids as they come in from that point. Now, the reason that you do this and how this actually works is it'll give your auction the appearance that it's a wicked, hot, popular auction in demand. And that is going to make it more desirable to others, because remember, people want what other people want. So what's going to appear here is like, man, they're like more than 15 bids in the first 24 hours. They're going to be like, I want that. If you go in and you just accept the bids as they come in, then you're not going to get as much activity, because a lot of times this is actually cool. It works in your favor. If initially some guy, maybe he bids $500 on your site, and you accept that right away, other people are going to be like, well, yeah, I'm not even going to bid because that's too high for me already. Whereas if the bid is $5, the one that's showing, right, then they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I'll bid. So you will get more bids because that, initially that high bid that got in there didn't get posted because you didn't approve it. So you got a whole bunch of other bids. And then once you get all those extra bids, now you've got, a greater amount of people that are interested, and that's going to cause that auction to show us something that's really, really hot. People are interested in it. Okay? So that's the strategy there. It's kind of like it's a little sneaky way to get a little more interest going on. Now, one thing about sites that you put up, obviously sites that make money are worth more. So I mentioned this, in the last video, that if you can, and you want to hold on to a site for a little while and let it actually make some revenue, and you have a way that you can prove that, hey, this site makes, blah, blah, blah on a pretty regular basis, it's going to be worth a whole lot more. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. You don't have to wait. If you make a good site and set it up, that's all you want to do is set it up, make it work, and sell it. Totally fine. Okay, no problems there. Good-looking sites sell for more. If you go out there and you just set up some generic-looking template or some kind of ugly web page, it's not going to make that much. It just isn't. People want to see something that looks visually appealing. If you can, it's a good idea to add Google Analytics to your site, because that helps you show proof. You can say, hey, I get X amount of hits every day, X amount of hits every month, depending on how long you're going to be holding on to the site. And that really is only a factor if you're going to hold on to the site for a little while. Don't hype up your site. There's nothing more unattractive than seeing an auction where somebody says this site makes me $30 a month, but it has the potential to make $50 grand a year, or it has the potential to make $3,000 a month. Well, if it has that potential and you really think it does, then why don't you do what needs to be done to make it make that much money? Okay? So don't hype it up. Don't, just be honest with people. Tell them what it is, and they will appreciate you for it, and it'll actually work in your favor. When I see sites that say, this is a new site, it's not making me any money yet, but it has the potential to do $5,000 a month, I'm like, yeah, okay, next. And I get the feeling that a lot of other people are the same way. Tell them why you're selling the site. In the listing, it's a good idea to, they're going to be curious as to, why are you getting rid of this site? So it's a good idea to let them know. Just tell them, hey, I enjoy setting up websites and writing content and doing graphics. I enjoy this and that and the other thing and researching new projects. And that's what I want to do, is set these up and then sell them. So, tell them, instead of you having to outsource and get all that stuff done, it's already been done. This is a turnkey project, and this is what I love doing, and that's why I'm selling it. Now, what I want to put forth to you is a bit of a challenge. Okay, because let me tell you what usually happens with training videos like this. People are excited about it, they buy it, they check it out, and they're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, and they never do it. I don't want that to happen to you. So what I want you to do is, don't do it today, because you might have watched a lot of videos today, maybe you're tired, you're worn out, but tomorrow I want you to start doing your niche research, and I want you to make your first site within the next 7 days. And that's totally doable even for a newbie. Okay? Go out there, do your niche research, do your keyword research, qualify the niche, make sure it's a good competitive market that you can rank for, just to add value to your website, and get a PLR product. They're very inexpensive. Just go to Google, do a search. There's tons out there. Again, do try to find one that's good quality, that includes source graphics, website graphics, stuff like that, and gives you the source files so that you can edit them. And set it all up, rock and roll, list it on Flippa. Now, I want to talk to you briefly here about what we do after the sale, and I want to mention some things that you can do to, make a little bit more money in the whole process here. It's actually, there are some great opportunities that you have to increase the amount of money that you make outside of just the sale price. So let's go ahead now and look at one of my favorite ways to make a little bit of extra income, and that is being a hosting reseller. Let me tell you what this involves and how you would go about doing it. It's not really that difficult. First off, what a hosting reseller is you go to a big hosting company, like HostGator, for example. You sign up with a special reseller account. There's no cost to do this. And what that reseller account allows you to do is set up other accounts and then resell that. It's kind of like you're your own hosting company. So when your customers would come to you, they sign up for an account, they don't know that you're actually just reselling for HostGator. So it's a little bit better than an affiliate relationship, because if people stick with you, then you have the potential there for recurring income on an indefinite basis. Okay? So the thing is, like with, let's say that you did some kind of just an affiliate thing and recommended hosting to somebody, you might get $50 out of the deal, maybe even get $100. But over the long run, being your own hosting company, you stand to get a whole lot more. And it's not expensive, folks. I'm talking you can pay $20, $30 a month for a reseller account, and you can just sell tons of accounts on that. So what you have to do first is you set up your reseller account. Now, the reason that we're talking about this now is because you have to get this set up before you flip the site, before you even make the site, in order for this to be very appealing and attractive to them. Because what we're going to do is, typically you sell a site and they've got to get it switched over to their account. They've got to copy stuff over, and it can be quite a bit of work. Well, you can actually circumvent all of that by doing the preparation beforehand and getting your reseller account set up. So you sign up for the reseller account, and then what you can do to kind of sweeten the deal is you can offer 3 months of hosting with the sale. So they buy your site, they're going to get 3 months of hosting. What that's going to do is help them to be lazy and not worry about transferring the site. So they're just going to leave it there, and they're going to keep working on it. And after 3 months, it's going to be like, who cares? Just leave it there. Then you can either hit them for the monthly fee, or you can charge them for 6 months, even a year of hosting up front. And it's nothing to pay $100 for a year of hosting. So if let's say you got $100 for an AdSense site, then you're going to get another $100 by hosting it for them. Double your money. So you can go to HostGator and you can sign up with a reseller account there. They provide a billing system called WHMCS. This system is really, really cool because it will do everything for you. It'll take care of the billing. If you've got, let's say you got a merchant account through Authorize.net, a credit card processor, you can set that up in there. Let's say you want to use PayPal, you can set that up in there. And it'll take care of doing the billing, like sending customers invoices when it's renewal time and managing domains and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool, powerful package. What you do is actually you will set up your reseller account. You will have WHMCS installed. And once you have that working, then whenever you're going to do a new site, you create a new customer. So you create the customer, you give them a hosting plan, and then you register that domain that you're going to flip. And, I'm talking about if you're starting over from scratch, right? And then whenever a time comes to sell that, flip that site, you are so set, because all you have to do is go into the customer account, change the name to the person who just bought it, send them the details, and they can actually log in right there and manage everything. They can enter, payment information if they want to pay for a year up front. They can do everything. The billing system totally runs the whole show. It's a really cool way to go. Another bright side to this is, let's say you've got existing sites. You've already got sites there. You can still create an account, create a user account, get them a hosting account on there. And I recommend you do a new account for every site that you have. And it doesn't cost you anymore. You can have as many accounts as you want because you're a reseller. You're paying for one main account, and you create as many of these little sub-accounts as you want to. But you set up a new account for an existing website, and then once you've got that in there, you go ahead and worry about all the hassle of transferring it. Because I understand, this might be the first time you've ever heard of the concept of being a hosting reseller. So you may already have websites out there. Okay, but what you can do now is set up these accounts, transfer them over to your new reseller account, and boom, you're ready to go. What's really cool about this too is, let's say that you do have your own domains, and maybe you're paying hosting for those. Maybe you're paying $10-15 a month for hosting for different accounts. You don't have to do that anymore because you're your own reseller. You can sign up your own account, set up your own account, and you don't pay another dime. Okay, so really pays for itself. If you've already got websites, this totally pays for itself, just having it. Plus, then you get extra income. Now, other ways that we can add some revenue: offer support services. And you can just put together some nice, attractive bundles for people, especially that are new to this. And you're going to find that a lot of your customers are newbies. One of the reasons that they're coming here to Flippa is because they don't know how to do all that stuff. They just want the website. So you can sell them phone support, bundle some hours. Like they have to buy like 5 hours worth of support. You can charge them 5 hours for $150. And that way they can call you. They can get you to walk them through some things and help them. Give them some training, some coaching. You could make yourself some videos for newbies, things like FTP and some basic HTML stuff and how to use WordPress. All that kind of stuff that they're going to need to know how to do. You can make yourself some videos and sell it to them, $25 even. just a little bit of extra money that you're making. You can create a course on writing articles, because chances are they're going to need to do some article writing. Have all of this stuff set up. If you're a real savvy marketer, you can have all of this stuff set up in an autoresponder sequence, and when they are a new customer for you, pop them in there, and you're going to just, sell all this stuff to them. Try to get them to go with it. And if they're newbies, a lot of times they're going to be like, yeah, I know I need this. And the good news is, check it out. They're newbies, right? So you say, okay, here's your site, blah, 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 go to it. Even after they see an email from you offering some beginner tutorials, maybe they say no. They don't buy anything. Once they start digging into it, they're like, oh man, I need to know how to do this. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to come back and get your videos. Okay? So if you know about setting up WordPress blogs and you know about using them, and which you will eventually, even if you don't know right now, you're going to know, because that's what your whole business is going to be based on. You can make these videos and make some extra money. Offer customization services. You can tell them, here's my hourly rate. I can go in and make updates for you. I can make changes, whatever you want me to do. Like I said, let's say you know about WordPress, you know about HTML, you know things that need to be done. Now listen, a lot of these people, they're clueless. They don't know. That's why they bought the site in the first place. They want a site that's ready to go, and they don't want to fool with it. So they might just want to hire you to make changes. Now, that doesn't mean the site can be junky and vanilla. It needs to be a total turnkey, ready-to-go site. But there might be a couple of things they want to change. Maybe they want to change a header. Maybe they want to change the format or the layout of it a little bit. Offer all of these services, because chances are some of them are going to take you up on it, and it's a way for you to make some extra cash. If there are things that you're not real good at, let's say graphics, for example. You don't do your own graphics. So you want to offer still customization services. They're going to ask you about graphics. All you got to do is outsource, buddy. Go to Elance, go to Rent-A-Coder, go to Guru, and work out some kind of relationship with somebody that's a good graphics artist and say, hey, I need a really good deal on you doing stuff for me. Like, what's it cost for a banner? Let's work out something. I can send you some regular work. And then when your customer says, hey, change this, and some of that stuff in there has to do with the graphics, bam, you just mark it up. You do something that is fair and for your management aspect of it, and you have your buddy overseas doing the graphics for you while you're taking a nap. Now, we also have the actual transferring of the site, and there's some things that I want to go over with you briefly here, because if they don't do the hosting deal, if they say no, I'm going to put it on my own account and I'm not going to continue hosting with you, you're going to have to do some stuff. And even if they do that, you're still going to have to transfer the domain. Transferring the domain typically takes about 30 minutes if you're able to do it yourself. If you got to coordinate with them or work something out with them, sometimes it can take a little bit longer. But it involves unlocking, domains and pushing them and all this kind of stuff. The best solution is getting them to sign up with your registrar, and I'll tell you about that here in just a second. If you got to handle everything, it'll only take you about 30 minutes to transfer the domain. But for that to propagate the internet could take a few days. Now, typically, I see it working in about 2 hours most of the time when I make changes. But I have seen it take 6-7 hours, and I have heard DNS nightmares of a few days. So what happens there is when you change a server, when you point it somewhere else, when you point a domain somewhere else, that information has to go through all the servers on the internet, and sometimes that takes a while. So, and sometimes it can work for you and not work for your customer yet because the changes haven't hit their ISP's servers. Okay. Now, what you have to do, the best option, like I told you, is just simply pushing the site, pushing the domain name. The way that that is done is you have them sign up at your registrar. So whoever you're using, let's say you're using Enom, the domain's registered there at Enom, have them sign up at Enom, at your registrar, because then usually all you have to do is push the site to them. You're just transferring ownership of it over to their account, and usually there's not going to be any charge for that. So we don't have to worry about, a transfer fee. If they're signed up with your registrar, boom, it just gets pushed over. I know with Enom, it's a piece of cake. I go in there, I've got, I have a reseller account, and I manage around 3,000 domains. But whenever I want to transfer a domain to another Enom user, just select it, push, type in their ID, and boom, done. Now, what you will want to do is give them FTP access, possibly. You don't have to. You might be leery of doing that, but you can set up an FTP account and give them access so that they can go in and they can grab files that they want to. Again, this is assuming that they're not going to host with you, so they've got their own account. They can go in there and they can grab it. Give them 10 days. Say I need you to have this off of there in 10 days so that I can close that account. Now, there's a lot involved in transferring a site. That's why I say if you have it on your account, on a reseller account, and you can offer them the convenience of just continuing that, a lot of times they're going to take it because it's a lot of work, and you're about to see how much work it is. I mean, it's not that it's really hard. I can do it now fairly quickly, but there are a lot of steps, and to a newbie, it's going to seem very overwhelming. Okay? You've got to copy everything that's in the public HTML folder, so you've got to download that. Then, if you've got a WordPress installation or something else that happens to be using a database, you've got to copy those databases. And the way that that is done is by logging into your cPanel, go to the MySQL databases. You're also going to be dealing with PHPMyAdmin. Okay, so you go in and you see how many databases you got, which ones are going to have to be backed up. Go into PHPMyAdmin, select the database that you need to grab, choose the export column, and then select all. Choose SQL. Some people call that SQL. And then save as a file, and then click Go. What that does is back up the database. It gives you a copy of the database. Then you'll have to go to the new server and import the database. Okay, so let's say, for example, we've got a WordPress blog. It's got content on it. We want, maybe it's even got users signed up, comments, all this kind of stuff, and we want to transfer all of that. So this is the way that we have to do it. Unless, well, I'll tell you in just a second. You're also then going to need to have WordPress installed on the new server already, and then you go into the wp-config.php file on the new server and update those database details, username, password, database, all that kind of stuff, after you have done the import. So it's going to go in then and grab the information, and everything should work, fine and dandy. Check this out, though. That's a lot of work. If you're going to be flipping sites, I totally recommend that you get a product called WP Twin, because what this does is, you may not be aware of this. If you do use WordPress, there's a backup feature, an export thing in WordPress. That does not give you everything. That does not fix your problems, believe me. Okay, it doesn't back up everything. If you use WP Twin, though, it is used to clone databases, WordPress databases. So what you can do is literally, check it out. Do a Google search for WP Twin. Watch the guy's video. He made this plugin type of thing. It's like a script. And all you do is upload a file to the old server, run the file, it backs everything up. Grab that. All you have to do is then go to the new server, just create a database, just a generic database. It doesn't matter. And then a WordPress installation, sorry. You create the WordPress installation, then You copy a little file up there and copy the backup up there. You run that file, and it replaces everything in the new installation with the old one. Boom, you just moved the whole WordPress site. And I do mean everything. Everything. Really awesome. Saves me, I couldn't even tell you, hours that program saves me. Now, some other things that we might want to consider. Do we have any email autoresponders on this site? Okay, are there email messages in a sequence or something? We're going to want to talk to them about that. Maybe give them copies of those email sequences so that they can put them on their autoresponder. Let them know which autoresponder service you're using so that if they have an Aweber account, they'll be able to just update some stuff, create a list, update some numbers on the page, and boom, everything still works for them. Are there any special directories, maybe applications that you have running, or other things that wouldn't normally get backed up in the public HTML, like special scripts or something? Those are things that you'll have to consider so that you can get those moved correctly. Are there any redirects set up on this page? A lot of times, affiliates will set up a redirect page that is going to, so that you can give out something that doesn't look like an affiliate link. It looks just like a here's mysite.com recommends. If you have something like that, you're going to have to configure that also. Let them know about that so that they can make updates to it so that they are, signed up as an affiliate for whatever offers those are. Also, do you have any cron jobs that are required to automate some processes? Now, a cron job is something that goes into your cPanel, and it's a special command that you specify how often you want it run, and then it'll run them. Maybe it's to do a database compact, or to send out emails, or check users, whatever. There's all kinds of things that cron jobs do, backup things. So what you got to do is go into your cPanel, go to cron jobs, and see if there are any cron jobs there. If there are, you're going to want to copy those and have them installed on the new server as well, so things keep running. Okay, especially if it is something that has to do with delivering files or doing billing stuff, all that. A lot of times those have cron jobs. Now, what you can do is, of course, offer a lot of the services here to them for an additional fee. Tell them, I will move all this stuff over for you. And you got to kind of feel out the customer. They might expect you to do that anyway, but really they're just buying the domain and the content that's on it. So them actually getting it over and installed on their server, their hosting account, if they're doing it that way, that really is their responsibility. So as a business owner, you got to feel things out. Is it worth making a bad customer relation here by not helping them, or that's assuming that they expect you to help them. Most people, though, do understand that they just bought the site and they got to move it over. So you can offer these services for an additional fee to help you make a little bit more money and take advantage of your time. And also, like I said, you can alleviate a lot of this by having it set up on a reseller hosting account where you can make additional revenue residually by just having them kind of take over the account. And that's definitely the preferred method. Okay, so good luck with your site flipping. And again, folks, just get on this. That's the best way to start making money, is to actually put your foot forward and put your foot on the floor, put the pedal to the metal, and get going.